My do not marry campaign is not to tell people just don't marry. It's a well-intended campaign to tell people that don't let age, do not allow family, do not allow friends, do not allow even your church or your pastor or society to preach marriage in a way that becomes patronizing. They patronize marriage on you.
Digest pod.
The Digest Pod.
Yes, Anemi. So, as an MC, right?
Yes.
You MC marriage ceremonies, right?
Yeah.
So, why the assertion "do not marry"?
Well, do not marry. It's one noble campaign by me. As you said, I'm an MC. I MC marriage ceremonies. So, yeah, marriage is a good thing. I like married people. I encourage them. Often, I find myself praying for married people that that their marriage will be stable and flourish as they want. But my campaign on do not marry, okay, is one that is premised on kicking out societal pressures on people to get married. That is one more reason why I spearhead the campaign do not marry. It was to ward off the pressure. It is to tell the people that marriage is not a norm. Like people are made to see, like we are born to go to school, get a job, marry, have kids. Sorry, let me use the word litter the world with children, and then in the end die and go turn into an ancestor, so that these children will start pouring libation to you. But that is not it.
He wants to become an ancestor.
When I graduate, I wonder how I'll become an ancestor without children, you know. I wonder if I'll become an ancestor.
Okay.
So, do not marry campaign is simply to ward off societal pressures on people who are forced to marry because they see it as the norm.
But have you been through such an experience of, being being at the receiving end of pressure from home?
Oh, let me tell you, I happen to be the only child of my mother. Thankfully, I am now 30, and then you get people saying that, you should hurry up and marry so that you give birth to your siblings. You know what they are trying to drive. If God in His own wisdom decided to give my mother one child, how am I to be that project child that is supposed to give birth to my siblings, my mother's children? Like, who does that?
No, but probably you have to also bring an offspring, so your mom could have.
Oh, there are people who are reverend ministers who have chosen to pursue that path who are not married. There are reverend sisters, they are not married, reverend fathers not married. Can't we have people who are not affiliated to any religious sect who feel that, we too, we did like that, we are not going to marry? No. So I am leading that charge.
I understand the fact that, yes, you are Catholic.
Look, let me tell you, recently, I used to follow this guy, True Crime Daniel, and he reported an incident where a wife killed her husband.
I think I saw that post.
Yes, and you know her reason? Yeah. Normally, you know domestic violence, you have men beating their wives, or if you have wives killing their husbands, it's because maybe a husband is cheating and there is a misunderstanding or something. This woman killed her husband because she does not want to be married. She was married earlier, and then she ended the marriage and came home, and then they forced her to marry this man. She actually said the man has been good to her, the man hasn't done her any wrong. But the fact is that she does not want to marry. Imagine her family listens to this my campaign of do not marry. They wouldn't have forced her, and then somebody's child is just dead because someone who do not want to be married is married.
So let me ask you, let's I want to get personal on this.
Please do.
Have you ever dated?
I've dated once in my life and it was not interesting. I did not find it interesting.
Why?
That's why I have zero interest in it.
Why?
The way I enjoy life being alone. I tried a relationship, and that one didn't last up to 2 months. I doubt. I just found out that that's not my thing. Like, I'm born to live alone, you know. You see me, I'm an MC. I come with that aura. I make people laugh. Like, when I meet a stranger, you never know we are strangers. But my best moments are when I'm alone.
Okay.
And I do not want people invading me be alone. So I want to be alone. And saying that do not marry means that, like, I enjoy the sanity of my peace when I'm alone.
But who do you want to give? Give birth.
To give birth. Oh, if I have a daughter, like, I'll be very proud. Like, I want a daughter, a very powerful daughter. Like, she will grow to be a very powerful woman someday. Like, if I have a daughter, fine, maybe I could try the process of artificial insemination or getting what's the name, a surrogate mother, and all those are viable options. But me sitting in my father's house, then I'll marry. Hey, like, you are somebody for unless someone comes to marry me.
But looking at that, I mean, not to think having this surrogate mother and this artificial insemination, it's very expensive. Why don't you just knock one woman, give birth, and then she goes away?
Oh, that one. Maybe we have like-minded people who also need one child, 2 children, and Charlie, my mind day, bring it on, my mind day.
Or you say, the girls then they like you. Your puppy has.
My father actually has a groom's list. He's sitting in the house waiting for anybody who is ready to marry me. Like, look at me. I look very good, don't I? I look very good. So if you want to marry a man like me, then come and see my father. He has a list, and I'm telling you, I'm very cheap and affordable. Come and marry me.
MC Abodie. But then again, looking at citing the instance of the woman killing her husband. I mean, we've heard lots of stories. I mean, of violence, okay, in the home. Right, between married couples. Don't you think that is also fueling your your campaign?
Well, let me tell you, every day I listen to societal programs that have these drives on marriage and all that. I listen to Obrat One by Mama Efe of Ishira FM. I listen to Oyerepa Football by Antina at Oyerepa FM. And then I listen to Akumemunzem by Ma Kus on Akuma FM.
Okay.
Every day, every single day, you have issues about marriages coming up. People are fed up, people are tired. Sometimes marriage has been forced on such people. And one that gets me very frightened, especially our very young ladies, our mothers, age mates, our young sisters who feel they've come of a certain age that they feel they really need to get married. I go on social media, I read from pages, and then you realize people mention their age and that at their age they are not married. Often if you read from side pages, you find me commenting and reminding them that I am older than them, and I use the word happily unmarried. I mean, I'm the only person you will meet and ask me if I'm married or not, and I'll tell you I'm happily unmarried. I want people to understand that being unmarried it doesn't make you a devil. It doesn't make you irresponsible as people want. I'm a very responsible young man. If I tell you the responsibilities I carry on my shoulders, you will be awed. And sometimes I ask those people I have to perform certain responsibilities to. I ask them, if I were married, do you think my wife and my children will allow me the freedom to be doing all these things I'm doing for you?
I mean, talk about responsibility. I've had a fair share of. I mean, you being responsible, because looking at school when we're on campus, I mean, being an SRC president, the duties aside that our personal encounters.
Exactly.
I could attest to that fact.
So people are struggling in their marriages.
Oh,
look, let me tell you, let it not be as if my campaign is such that I do not glorify marriages that are prospering. I think marriage is more about tolerance and love.
Yeah.
Yes, and I see people who are, let me tell you, one woman I love so much is my stepmother. Her humility, her love for my father throughout the pains, the good moments, and all that. I mean, she's my example of a very good woman in marriage. I see people, you see Olu Jacob and his wife, you admire, you see marriages that will stand the test of time. You look, sometimes I know couples who are praying for children. When I sit down, I do pray for them that God grant their wish. You are in a marriage and one person isn't making the marriage work, one person is giving it all. I pray for such homes that they stand the test of time. But you see, Yama awaria yefu ama obi afi say when you and now we do the so beat, you know, except at a so worry. They be sometimes when I listen to sad programs and I look at the people, I look at them sitting and I say, me, even me. I use the word even me because I may not be qualified in some sense, but I look at it and I say, even me, I will never ever marry you. We have demeaned marriage. Look, sometimes people have petty issues that they can sit down and discuss and resolve in their marriages, and then they bring it on radio, they bring it on TV, they bring it on social media, they bring it on air. And when I listen to what they are spewing, I go like, you spew this in public. I don't think this marriage will ever work again. After you spew this, if I were the person, you come back to meet me at home. Look, people are getting fed up in marriages, and sometimes it's not even about property. They are just tired. They are willing to file for a divorce where they don't even have the time to sit in court with you to decide whether you should get this or you should get that. They don't mind if you get everything, and they walk away and get their peace. Look, my do not marry campaign is not to tell people just don't marry. It's a well-intended campaign to tell people that don't let age, do not allow family, do not allow friends, do not allow even your church or your pastor or society to preach marriage in a way that becomes I often use a certain word, I'm forgetting the word, you see, patronizing. They patronize marriage on you. And you know, we have churches where pastors even tend to pimp people for themselves, even in churches.
I've experienced that before.
Yes, and you have churches where if you are not married, there are certain positions they do not find you worthy. Me, whether you pastor or you imam, whether you boss, you mother, you father, you sister, you brother, you auntie, you uncle, whoever you are, you cannot garnish marriage in any way.
But there again, don't you think that people focus more on the ceremony, right, rather than the love itself and then making it work? Because I've actually had lots of conversation with young people who have actually married, and I ask, and then the budget alone for just the wedding, the engagement, and I'm like, how on earth they evolve rather in the ceremony rather than looking at what really goes into that journey of life?
What I can say is that people marry weddings and not people.
How?
So it's simple. The investment is in the ceremony.
Yes.
It's in what friends, families are coming to see. Look, marriage is actually behind the scenes and how it works. If you ask me, look, let me tell you this for a fact. My father has 6 children and we are all firstborns. Everyone and the mother. So it's not as if I've not seen marriage before. My father was married also to people with whom he didn't have children.
Oh, okay.
So which means it spans beyond 6 wives and maybe concubines. Those that I may have known as a child and those maybe I didn't have the opportunity to know. So you see, raising a home. People marry not because of love. Somebody marries and the ends to that marriage is to have children. So if you come to that home as a wife and children are not coming, then the things it is your fault. So he jumps on to the next. So do you call that marriage? Do you realize that it wasn't just about you, but you were a means to arriving to an end, that is children? Look, we should stop patronizing ourselves. We should stop looking at the expenses. These days, let me tell you, I'm an MC, so I can tell you that it is true. Marriage is very expensive. Even decoration.
Yes, you know, as a photographer too, I've shot lots of weddings. There was one wedding I shot, and then I asked the decor lady how much was just, and she mentioned 15,000.
Thank
so
you.
I asked her. I just sat here for a couple of seconds and I asked that I'm a photographer. How long am I going to work to just get this? Only 15,000 for just this decor, the food back home, lighting in back home. Nibi some things aren't involved. Just hey.
Please, you didn't mention my child as an MC, which is very important.
All these things aren't involved. Just
everything in there, from DJ, you know, from clothing. And one thing I like to take a lot is the Akontasika. I mean, you know, I have 3 sisters. I've taken 2. I'm waiting for 1. I will still take it if it comes.
But Akontasika, people don't do Akontasika. I've taken so far. Getting 100 cities, 200 cities, I mean, it's not enough.
You don't want to marry. You are receiving a Akontasika and it is not enough for you. Anyway, at our last meeting, we have reviewed the price of Akontasika. The last engagement I was charged before, the amount on it was very good. Like, I wish my sister's husband would come and see my father and take the list again, so that they will remarry there. Then I will try this time upward adjustment. CD dollar rates. We are not using the Bank of Ghana rate to Abochi rate. Abochi rate very heavy like that. So look, marriages are expensive. People marry for the cameras. They marry for the videos. They marry in front of the church. They go to their homes and they are lonely. The marriages are not working. Look, people think divorce rates are high these days. I tell you, they could actually be higher than for those crying in their pillows, weeping in their beds, sitting in their washrooms and crying, wiping tears off. I'm telling you, people are weeping in their marriages. You should consider options carefully before you go into it. But let me encourage you that if you find yourself in a marriage that is not working, give it time. Find a counselor. Do everything you can do within the space of 6 months to make it work. If after 6 months it is not working, quit praying. Stop disturbing Jesus. There are a lot of prayer requests, including mine, in front of Jesus and our God. Stop disturbing them. Get out of that marriage. Join me in the Do Not Marry headquarters. Let me introduce you to jobs, MCing, selling of ice cream cake, selling of smoothies. Let me lead you into the gym. Shape your body. Let me take you to mass. Let's go and pray. Serve our God. Or maybe if you do not know how single life works, like, study my life. I am always happily unmarried. You'll never find such an example anywhere in the world.
So last, do not
marry. Never marry.